Hi, it's a little bit cold today in sunny Florida. We've had rain for the last 3 or 4 days. And as you can see, I'm wearing my sweatshirt. I've got the windows open. I want the cool breezes coming in. And I decided, let's see, what should I do today? I'm gonna bake some bread. So I have been going through my James Beard bread cookbook. And here's something I've never made. Basic home style bread. Go figure, I've made all kinds of other breads. Let's try this basic bread. So this basic bread has, is milk, butter, yeast, sugar, salt, and all-purpose flour. It seems that I'm having a problem with the flour because I can only get self-rising flour, and self-rising flour isn't good for baking yeast breads. You can use it for quick breads, you can use it for banana breads, biscuits, those type of things that use baking soda, baking powder. They don't work well with yeast for yeast breads. So we're gonna start this off by, I did warm up my milk, my 2 cups of milk, I warmed it up. I put in a half a cup of the warm milk in my other container. I'm gonna add a package of yeast. That's 2.5 teaspoons of yeast. And then I'm going to take 2 tablespoons of sugar. That's going to activate my yeast. And then I'm going to give this a quick stir to see if I can get this going. And I think that's going to happen really quick. So I've activated my yeast. All right, so to go to the next step. Both of these loaves of bread will be put in loaf pans. These aren't free-formed artisan breads. They will go in bread pans. All right, we got this sitting here. We're gonna let that sit. In the meantime, we're gonna take the rest of our wet ingredients. We're gonna take the rest of our milk. We're gonna take our butter. And I'm always big about getting every last bit in. As you notice, I am wearing my trusty glove here. So I've got all of my ingredients as far as that goes in there. And I need a tablespoon, believe it or not, of salt. And I'm gonna put that in with my dry ingredients. And I'm gonna mix that up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start adding a cup of this flour at a time to my wet mixture, all right? So I've got 1 cup going in. I did combine the King Arthur white whole wheat flour with my all-purpose flour because I didn't have a whole heck of a lot of all-purpose flour. And we'll see how that goes. How did I break it down? Well, it's supposed to be 5 to 6 cups of flour to my, for this recipe. And so I did was I took 3 cups of all-purpose, 2 cups of whole wheat to start with. And then I'm gonna add another cup. It's my 2nd cup of flour here. And throw that in. I'm gonna get just a little bit more because it wasn't quite a cup. And I'm gonna keep stirring. And I think I've told you this in the past. It's really important when you're baking or cooking or doing anything to always have a dry hand. You know, I kidded about it. The reason for a dry hand was to answer a phone, do a text message, grab a kid when they're not behaving. But really, it's just to be able to accommodate you. So if you have to get something, you can get it without having a total mess going on in your hands or the kitchen. All right, I'm gonna grab another cup of my flour. So now I probably have gone through about 3 cups of my flour. Get that down there. See what my yeast is doing. Yep, my yeast looks like it's coming together here. And technically, I'm supposed to add my yeast next once I get this going. So it was 3 cups of flour and then put your yeast mixture in. And it is bubbling here and doing its thing. Probably could have waited a few more minutes, but for necessity right now, I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. All right, now I'm gonna get this mixed up in here. All right, so by the way, I'm doing this by hand again. Yes, I know, that probably scares most of you. But I actually like working with my hands. So it's therapeutic. Maybe I used to like to play with dirt as a kid, I don't know, or clay or something, but I just like the feel of being able to have your hand in the food. So, here we go. It's gooey. I'm gonna add another cup of my flour, which is about half of what I have left in there. And I keep scraping the sides of my bowl. As you can see, I try to keep my bowl nice and clean. Because one of the ways to check is if your dough is getting to the right consistency is if you have a clean bowl and it can glide all over the bowl. And there's no wet spots. So, well, looking pretty good. I don't know that I think I'm gonna put in the rest of my flour, but the mixture is looking good. It's not a very humid day here in Florida. I don't know if I'm gonna need all my extra cup of flour, so 5 cups might do it. Put this in and move that over. And I'm gonna keep going. Keep working my dough. And as soon as I get it coming together here, I will put it on the table and I will knead it. All right. So, I'm finding that I have a little bit of dryness, so I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do now. I'm going to do my old standby, put my hand in my water, and this is something my grandmother taught me. You don't want to just throw water in. You want to use it, put your hand in the water, and work it. This way you don't get it too much in there, and you're also working the dough at the same time. There you go. And wet my knuckles again. Incorporate it all in. Turn it. I remember as a little girl, my grandmother would be standing there with me punching the dough, and she'd have a saucepan, a little handled saucepan, and she'd be telling me, put your hands in here, put your hands in. Metti le mani in the acqua, or whatever. I'm not quite as good as my grandmother was with the Italian, but she'd always tell me, put your hands in the water, put your hands in the water. I understood her. Okay. She also spoke dialect, so in the last couple of years, have been taking Italian to learn the right pronunciation and the right usage of the Italian language, which I absolutely love. It's been a great pastime for me. All right, we have come together. So the next thing you do is you want to put this on the counter and you want to start working it. Now you can do a one or a two-handed way of moving this. I'm going to fix my sleeve up here. One-handed would be just pushing it and turning it, and pushing it with the heel and folding it. But I'm a two-hander. And as you can see, nothing is sticking to my hands, which means that my dough is a good consistency. And I'm just going to keep working it. So I'm going to knead this for about, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes, which I'm not going to keep you in this place for that. So I'm going to put you on hold for a second, and I'm going to finish kneading. Okay, so I'm back. I usually ask myself 3 questions about my dough after I've kneaded it for a time. Whether or not it's supple, whether or not it's shiny, and whether or not it's still sticky. So in this case, it's very supple. My dough is beautiful, and it's shiny, and it's not sticky, all right? So I'm going on to the next step. I washed out my bowl. I've got a little bit of butter in my hand right now. I'm greasing the inside of this bowl with the butter. Why am I using butter and not oil? Because there's butter in my recipe and not oil. So that's my reason. Okay, I'm going to give this a few more cranks here. And I'm gonna get it in a nice ball. And at the same time, I'm taking that extra butter that I had in my hand, and I'm gonna roll this in the pan to get butter all over my dough. And I'm gonna cover it with some saran. I'm gonna cover it then with a towel, And I'm gonna let it rest and rise to double its size, which is gonna take anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours. You want it in a draft-free environment. So we'll see you in a couple. Have a great time while I'm away. Okay, so here I am, I'm back. My dough has been sitting and almost 2 hours. It's been kind of a cooler day today. I'm going to uncover it. Oh, looking very nice. You know, when my grandmother used to make bread, she'd put a cotton cloth over it and she would put her coat on it. So I didn't quite do that, but I always remember my grandmother's coat being on the bread. So here we go around the dough. So here we go. We're gonna put this out on my table. I'm gonna dust it a little flour. I'm gonna get this out of here. Oh my gosh, looks fantastic. And I need to knead it. So I need to knead it for about, I got 4 or 5 minutes. It's probably the best thing to do. So while I'm kneading, I am going to sign off for a few minutes till we get to the next part. Okay, so I've been kneading my dough for about 4 minutes now. I took my scale out. I'm gonna try to equally distribute this dough between these 2 pans. So let me just see what I have here. 25. Oh my gosh. I don't think I could try to do that again. I'm off by only 1/10 of an ounce. Okay, so I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna flatten this out. And I'm gonna just roll it up because it's gonna go into this pan now. And these are not my favorite pans to be baking in, but it's what I have right now, so that's what I'm using. I did not oil these pans. And they're gonna have to rise again. So earlier I crumbled up my saran wrap, but then I need it again. So I uncrumbled it. Trying to reuse my same saran wrap here. Be conservative. All right, and we're gonna wrap these up with our towels again. And we're gonna let them double again in size. I'll put a couple towels on here. And I'm actually gonna put it behind me on my counter because the sun is coming in. As you can see the glare, and it'll be nice and heated in this area. So that's where they're going to sit, right there. All right, we'll see you in about, I guess about an hour. Okay, here we go. It's time to bake our bread. So I'm gonna get my bread. We'll see how it looks. And oh, voila. Both of these loaves look awesome. Right up to the top. We're gonna make a couple slits. Let's hope this one's sharp. I'm going to grab my sharpener real quick. Give it a quick couple of cranks through. Okay, we're gonna give it a few slits here in the bread. 1, 2, 3. Let's go 4 on this one. Same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I am only going to take a little bit of water. I'm gonna grab a little bit of water to put on the tops, like so. Just some water. All right. All right, we got it. All right, we're going in the oven for 40 to 45 minutes, and we'll see you when we come out, I guess. We'll see how this goes. Let's put it in. Okay, we'll see you in a few. Hi everybody. I'm about ready to take my bread out of the oven. At about 30-35 minutes, I checked my bread. It looked like the top of it was getting just a little bit too brown, so I did put some tin foil on top. So I'm ready to take it out. Let's see what we have. Nice and hot in there. Woo. Okay. All right, let's see if we can get these out of the pan and how difficult that's going to be. All right, let's see if we can flip this one. Whoa, 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 whoa. Not too bad. All right. Check this. Sounds pretty good. I think I'm going to put it back in just for a couple minutes and make sure I get it nice and toasty on the bottom. Want to have that nice, solid sound. Let's do the same thing with this one. See if I can get this one out. Wow, there we go. Sure enough. Same thing. I'm hearing it, but not quite exactly like what I'd like to hear. So I'm going to put those back in. I'm going to actually put the foil back on top.
Well, I'm very happy that we're doing it this way.
Okay, so
being done in such a way.
We are almost done with these breads, and I will get back to you just in a few minutes and let you see the finishing,
Early on, and you can
the finished job. Okay.
Also
Hi, everybody. I have to apologize for the last video. It seems that my television was on pause and it decided to start up right in the middle of my last video. This has been an ongoing process all day. It's been about 6-7 hours of me filming this this bread deal because of the raising and the cooking and the making and the baking and all that good stuff. So I happened to put the television on to check up the updates on the COVID-19, and it just decided to start during that last filming. And since I'm a one-take kitchen, I had to let it go. Otherwise, I would have, I don't know, I guess faked it and put the bread back in the pan and start all over again. Okay. I'll do better next time. So, okay, I'm back. So one of the things that I decided to do the last time I wanted to make bread is to use my Beard on bread. So this is my James Beard book on breads, and I decided to go through the whole book. So this is only my second loaf of bread. This is called the Basic Home Style Bread. I did it a little bit different, like I said in the earlier part of this, because I did use some whole wheat. So let me show you the finished product. And I'm really excited about it. Now I gotta find someone to give it away to, or I guess I could wrap it in some tin foil and put it in the freezer. But here we go. Here's our 2 loaves of bread that we got out of that recipe. And once again, thank you for coming into my home and letting me come into your home. It's always an honor to have you join me when I'm doing one of my cooking extravaganzas. All right, so everybody stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe, and check it again. We'll see what I'm doing next time. Ciao, love you all.